Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Villas, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, pleasure to be with you, man. How are you doing?
Good to be here, sir. We salvaged the podcast. We
We
were,
did. There was a chance that
we,
wasn't going to happen.
yeah, we managed to fix our technical issues, I think, for the most part. And I was telling you before we jumped in the air that I took my graphics card apart and gave it a good clean, replace all the thermal pads, replace the thermal paste. Everything's clean and good. I shouldn't be getting overheated right now. And then it crashed. And then OBS crashed everything.
It's like it
So
heard you.
yeah, it did hear me. Yeah, it seemed like a driver issue, but simple reboot
No.
fixed it. So there's my tip for the day. Before calling IT, you guys should reboot your computers.
It should be always the first thing you try.
Should be the first thing you try before.
Sometimes you even try it two times sometimes.
Hey, you know what? Yep. It could take a couple times. Yep, you're right. You're right. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. With this we just wrapped up on a personal level some busy stuff that we've been going through. So it's why we're coming to you guys a little bit earlier than usual, trying to have a little bit of downtime and normalcy between all the busy stuff that's been going on. But it's all well, it's all good. I did have an opportunity, Obed, to see a small independent film, Godzilla and Kong New Empire.
Okay.
Had to see it.
All right.
Um,
Don't
yeah,
spoil it.
it
Just let me know.
not gonna spoil it at all. It's dumb fun.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good movie. It's not a
It's
real
dumb
movie.
fun.
That's
It's
not a
never
real
a real
movie.
movie.
It's not this is not real, but it's still something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually would say just generally I did enjoy Godzilla versus Kong a little bit more than this one
Okay.
personally.
All right.
But there's a lot of cool stuff, more so just because of them expanding the lore and not just trying to recreate the same thing. That I think a lot of fans of Kong and a lot of fans of Godzilla will enjoy. Godzilla does take a lot of the back burner in the film. It feels like it's more of a Kong film than like it's
Oh.
Kong's film with Godzilla being like the friend, like in it,
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing.
Right, right.
Um, so I would have liked to have seen a little more Godzilla. And, like there's a lot of tropes that they just kind of I don't say tropes, but things that you expect from Kong films that they just kind of do the same thing in every single one of them that, it's not that it's not done tastefully, but it's kind of obvious for each of the films. But yeah, like all in all, it's fun once you get to um kind of the end of the second half of the film is when it really starts to pick up. You're like, okay, now we're gonna lock into just this really, really awesome thing. There's a place and a moment that Kong goes to, and that's when you're like, okay, this is what we were, told we were gonna be seeing in the trailers and from stuff like that.
Th-
Most of the other beginning is just exploration.
okay. Did they spoil the main villain in the trailer, or is there a surprise?
Um, no, I'm trying to think if they did spoil this. I don't think they did.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right.
think they did. I feel like I saw it somewhere else before, but I don't think it was in the trailers. So you probably
Got
know what it is.
okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toys and
Okay.
whatnots. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
something else I
Yeah.
saw it in. So
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Yeah. I want to watch it. I'll watch it.
oh
I'll
yeah.
watch it. I'll watch it. It's one of those. I'm keeping my eye out still for -1 when that drops. I'll
Oh,
buy that because that's a totally different thing, right?
Obed, that is
So
beyond like
I
that
know.
is like high cinema right there,
I
dude.
said,
That
well,
makes this look like a student film.
yeah, exactly. So I saw a really good analogy by James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, who's a huge
Yeah.
Godzilla fan, Godzilla and Kong fan. Um, and he put it this way because -1 came out in December, and then this one just came out. And -1, it's when you go to to a concert, and then the guys that play before the main show just like friggin' blow your socks off but then here comes like the main show with the pyro and the lights and the
Yes,
cool show, right? But then they don't really like live up to the height. It's still fun, but
but
it
it's
doesn't.
not as good.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the
Yeah.
pre-show. So that's
Yes.
that's how he
Yes.
put it on. I was like, okay, that's a
That's a
really good
great point.
analogy. And
Perfect analogy.
yeah, okay, great, great, good to know, good to
Yeah.
know. Cool. You haven't watched Ghostbusters yet, right?
No, no,
Yeah.
I didn't see the last one in theaters. I probably won't see this one in
Okay,
theaters. Just
I heard
I'm
it's
not
good.
sure.
I
Yeah.
I talked to a couple of people and said it's good. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
that they enjoyed it. So yeah,
It's
cool.
better than Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, how do I, did I? Oh, I donated that movie,
You don't stop it.
dude. When I cleaned out my garage like at the beginning of the year, right?
Somebody wanted it.
I told you I was gonna do it, right? So yeah, that went on the donation box. It's probably in some either Goodwill or the Salvation Army somewhere in the
Wow.
Central Florida area. so
That's crazy,
so
dog.
you go look for it. Yeah. No, I actually got that for free. Got a 4K copy of it for free. Um, when I got my Blu-ray, my 4K
Oh, it
Blu-ray,
came with
it
it.
came
Oh,
with it.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I watched it one time and it just went to the box.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's very strange though that movie actually has higher Rotten Tomatoes ratings. Do you see that? Than
Yes.
Frozen Empire. It's interesting. Yeah, I think it even had higher ratings than Afterlife, and
Wow.
I really liked Afterlife,
I mean, that's the
and
consensus.
this movie was just strange.
That is
It
strange.
was very strange. I don't
Maybe a
know.
little, maybe I don't want to go
I mean,
conspiracy theory, but people
good,
are well
yeah.
connected, you know?
It was many things. Good wasn't one of them. It was right. You know,
Yeah, yes.
yeah. I don't want to get into the weeds. We're gonna
Yes.
get canceled
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, well.
Gamergate, whatever, and all these
No,
people. And it's
stop,
like, oh
stop.
no, stop.
There goes the
Um,
comment section.
right. Played a little bit more Final Fantasy. Made it to the Golden Saucer, and its game is real good. The mini games are excellent. There's some mini games in that section, dude, that are better than than a lot of games out there. That are better than a lot of mobile games. Like straight up, the mini games in this game could be mobile games, and they're actually better than just like gacha mobile
Yeah.
games. It's so good. Yeah, so I'm still really enjoying this game. Looking forward to spending more time with it. I didn't play that much. I played probably like another 5 hours over the weekend. Maybe 6 hours. But it's still very very solid. I'm still enjoying it quite a bit. And played a little bit more Dragon Ball Online. Went a little bit better. I don't know. I feel it, man. I feel it. I don't know if it's gonna be enough to get me to see Otaku, but I don't know. We'll see. Many things are moving right now. Many pieces are moving around. So I'm not sure, right? And with CEO Otaku getting moved to December, that's usually time of the year then
Yes.
that we're busy, right?
Yes.
So it it's making it increasingly difficult for me to be able to attend. I'm gonna
Unfortunately,
try.
yeah.
I'm gonna really try it. I'm gonna practice. I think the registrations open in summer, so I still have time to practice, think about it, and I'll let you know. I know. I mean, we have plenty of time where we can plan it out, plan ahead, right,
Yeah,
and make that weekend. So we'll see what happens.
yeah.
But looking forward to it.
Well, I was gonna say you should definitely if you're able to go, and that's something we'll talk about more as logistically as things come through.
Right.
But like, if you are, you got to enter into this, dude. If Grandma a couple years ago,
Right.
come on, man.
Yeah, not last year, the previous year, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. It's I'm still enjoying it online. It's played it on PS4. I still haven't tried the netcode on PS5, but played it on PS4, and it feels it's almost there. Um, Even with the delay based netcode that they're using on PS4, it feels better than it did before. But they're still I'm still dropping combos. It's like, why am I dropping this combo? I've done this combo 20,000 times. It's like, why am I dropping this? And it's probably the netcode, right? And
Yeah.
that's usually where it comes to. But I still haven't tried the PS5 netcode. I'll probably just try it during the summer. I'll see if I have some time and try it out. But still enjoying Final Fantasy. Jumping back to fighters, and yeah, we'll see what happens from there. Jill, I didn't catch up on Bad Batch this week, so I guess we'll have a triple whammy next week.
I was gonna say it's gonna be a lot to talk about.
Yeah. If we would have recorded Thursday, like tomorrow
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Friday, I would have
Usual.
been able to catch up.
Yeah.
But since it came out today, it's a little bit tougher for me to be able to accommodate.
Yeah.
But I did watch X-Men, sir. Very interesting episode because it was like an anthology episode, and I really where where I'm
Oh,
going.
right the moment it came on my screen, Nintendo. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
You know where I'm going. This
Here we go.
episode was great. I love this episode. Or the first. I love the episode entirely, right? But the Nintendo part,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
so good. Like the not Sega Genesis with the X-Men cartridge with the same box art as the X-Men game from the Genesis, dude. Insane. And then all the callbacks to like Marvel vs. Capcom and the X-Men arcade, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, what? Like they know what they're doing, right? So they know that the people that grew up watching the X-Men show also grew up playing the games back then. The arcade
Yeah.
game, the Genesis game, and
Yeah.
Children of the Atom, whatever. And Children of the Atom specifically, right? Because we do see Spiral in this episode doing stuff, and she's in the game and in Children of the Atom. So you can tell that that first half of this episode was a love letter to the all of us, that me and all the ones that grew up watching the X-Men show and playing the games. So I really appreciated this episode. It was fun. It was silly, but it was filler, right? But it was filler in the way that the driver's license episode in Dragon Ball Z is filler. It's fun.
Wow.
So it was fun, and we do get I guess some character progression, because we do see Jubilee and Roberto getting closer, right? So but just a little references, missed opportunity to have Magneto say "Welcome to Die" or "The Master of Magnet," or some of the lines from the arcade games, like missing opportunity. It was like, oh, I'm waiting for it, and he didn't say it. I was like, oh no. But just a little callbacks and details and Easter eggs that were in the first half of this episode were excellent. And yeah, I really do appreciate this first half of this episode. Second half, now we get to the drama is Storm and Forge working, trying to get her
Yeah.
powers back, right? There's a part two, like they already said that this is a part one to to this whole thing that's happening, which could be a multi-parter, I guess mini saga within the season. How many episodes do they say that they're doing?
Ooh. I don't remember off the top of my head. I can fact check it for you.
All right. Um, because I really want this to be like a full cartoon season, which is like 32 episodes. But I know that it's probably going to be 12 or 16, and I'm hoping that we get more, because it was so good. It took so long though to come out that I'm afraid that
10.
10. Okay. So we're almost halfway through.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they keep going. I'm hoping that they fast track it, but they're also careful with the writing, right? Because it's already living up to expectations. It's actually exceeding expectations in my opinion. So
Yes, I agree. I agree.
yeah, man, what do you think? So good.
Yeah, I don't want to beat the same drums, but I felt extremely similar to you, and I think you worded it very eloquently because I didn't want to say it in a way that it sounded like negative. I mean this in like an endearing way, but like it was very obvious that they were catering to the age group that grew up watching this and like trying to do this in a way that's like very like hey, like this is the stuff that like you grew up with in this time, like culturally, and we're enjoying. Like, let's make it like a fun episode and still make it X-Men at the same time. So, like, yeah, like I love that they did that, and they did it in like they did it in a really fun way. I also think like to your point, the fact that they split it off into making the first one fun, the second one being more of a I don't want to say serious, but like something of handling a major challenge that a character like Storm we see is facing. I'm glad that they actually put it into like this is a very creative choice. You don't see this very often in TV shows, let alone animation, where you try and factor in two storylines and make them definitively split. And in a 27-minute runtime, that's not very easy to do. And I'm sure probably were discussions at Marvel at Disney saying, do we split this off, and make these completely separate episodes, but they probably had also budgeted like you only get 10, like that's the only thing you gotta do, so you gotta trim one time, whatever.
Right.
That's just all assumptions, right? I don't know that's a fact. So, um, yeah, because there's probably plenty more things that were left at the cutting room floor, and that's why leaving it to say like, hey, there's definitely gonna be a part two next week. I'm just curious, will the trend continue? Will next week be an entirely the part two just be the full episode next week? Or are we gonna get kind of a split thing again where it's like, let's finish this and then start another one? And does that become a thing? I don't know. I'm very curious to see where they're going with it. But the cliffhanger at the end of that second episode even had my head spinning of trying to figure out exactly what's going on. I have theories, but I do not feel as confident. But that's the fun of it, right? Like I
Yeah.
get to sit back for the ride, learn what's going on, the story they're trying to tell, and they're not the only filler we've ever gone, as we're now a few episodes in, was a Nintendo episode that was awesome. So I'm okay
Yeah.
with this.
Right. Exactly. I they were very smart, right? Because they that Motendo thing was real was it was padding, right? It was filler,
Yeah,
and I appreciated that it was still fun. Whereas some of the Star Wars stuff, more
oh
specifically like
yeah,
Rebels, right? When it came
Space
to
Pigs.
when it came to filler, dude, it was just not good, right? So I appreciate them, uh, you know, giving us a lot of like nostalgia and Easter eggs and all that, right? Uh, and at the same time, giving us like a fun, little like side story, right? So yeah, it was good. Another good episode, man. This show is really like killing it. So
For sure.
I'm really excited to keep watching more. Uh, just in case, sir, there is a little bit of a thunderstorm going on. In
Yep.
case I lose you, sir, or in case anyone's tuning in and you see that we get disconnected, you know, now you know. All right, sir, we got an update. We were talking about this last week,
Yeah.
and just so happened that someone asked the big cheese, Mr. Bob Iger, the question. What did they ask, sir?
Yeah, the question was literally with Epic Universe opening up in Orlando in 2025, why hasn't Disney prepared anything or placed more than just a handful of attractions in the pipeline to be ready in 2025 at Walt Disney World? Can I read the answer in its entirety, or do you want me just to jump through it?
You can jump through it.
Okay, so Iger says, "Well, thank you very much for your question," and he jumps right into saying that that's simply not true. Basically, spread over the years, they have taken the approach of saying, we have done things like the world of Avatar and Toy Story and Galaxy's Edge and making a mini Runaway and, obviously Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy and Remy and billions of dollars going into the reimagining of Epcot. And so, like, we've done all of these things already. As from the moment that we knew that announcement, it's been staggered, of Epic Universe, and then also saying that, like, they've done things to create more revenue, create more jobs, just overall tourism economics. And then the real big kicker was at the very end, where he says, we've also, discussed our $60 billion capital expenditure plans. That's much for coming to our parks around the world, including Florida. And I think that's the part to me that was like the biggest kickers is one, it's like pushing back on the narrative of like, no, we've actually been doing stuff, which if you remember,
What
Obed,
you said?
I said it. I was like,
Yeah.
no, like it's false. Like they've been literally putting little by little all around over the
Right.
years. So he echoed that. But the real kicker was the thing that you have been alluding to for a while, of saying like, hey, they got to do another park or something like that because the demand is so high. And he's alluding to it very strongly. He can't make any promises, which is the right thing to say. But saying like we've got capital ready, we've got a plan. Stay tuned is how I took it.
Yeah. That's same thing. I found it really interesting because I was reading it. I was like, oh man, this is like exactly the same thing that we said last week.
I know.
It was like what?
Bob's listening.
Like yeah, right. Bob's listening.
Hi, Bob.
No, and no, it's. I don't think that he's
No.
I don't think he's listening. I think that we may know what we're talking about.
That's probably way more accurate.
So
We know.
yeah, and I understand the journalist's question, right? Because that seems to be like a
That
sentiment.
wasn't a journalist. That was a stakeholder.
It was a stakeholder. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
I had to look.
okay,
I didn't
okay,
think this
okay.
was real. I'd be honest with you. I didn't think this was real at first.
Okay.
When I first saw it on social media, I was like, "This is some AI generated thing, like whatever." I was like, "Oh snap! No, this is real."
Okay. I thought it was I thought it was a journalist. So thanks for correcting me.
No worries.
In like in the big picture, right? It seems like they're just dilly dallying and not doing anything. But when you put it in context, then you know, in the last 5 years or last 7 years, or they've really made the investment. It's just that you don't see it because it's additions. It's not. I think that they are expecting a blockbuster announcement or something of the magnitude of a new park when you already have four. Build around those four and expand those four. And I just don't see that a lot of people see that. And I agree to that sentiment, right? Because there needs to be another there has to be another gate at WDW. It's gotten to the point. I mean, they keep adding hotel rooms. I don't know why, right? And that's the thing. It's like they keep adding stuff and more hotel rooms, and not even just them, like Wyndham and that hotel with like the beach pool that opened recently. So there's other hotels in the area opening, and they just don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
So that's where that comes from, right? But they do have very attractive, especially now with Epcot. It's like, and we can go back to Epcot, and I got my feelings about that, and yeah, there's things that could be better. We've discussed it in the show, right? It was like it's been the journey into imagination, like bringing it back to what it was originally, like the original ride. Everyone loved it back in the day. Like there's rumors that something's gonna happen with that.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm still pitching the Sega Play Pavilion in the old
He kind of
Wonders
has
of
a
Life.
Sega thing behind him.
Yeah, I'm still pitching it over at the old Wonders of Life Pavilion. we got the remodel, right? The Moana thing, the France expansion. So there's stuff happening. Uh, you know, Avatar is huge, right? It was already been there for a few years, but it's a good addition to the park. A park that definitely needed it. A park that is in need of another one, right? And then you go back to studios, and that's the one that's really been transformed in the last 7 years, right? With
Huge.
Toy Story and Galaxy's Edge. That I think that park is could potentially be the better one out of all their parks right now.
Yeah.
And when it comes to theming, right? And I know that a lot of people is like, oh, well, there's not really theming because they're just, IP lands, right? I was like, well, it still doesn't matter, right? It's themed. Like the park is very well divided, and I think that park flows very well. Where you go to the main entrance and you got the Hollywood Boulevard, and the you get into Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, and then it flows right into Runaway Railway, and then it switches to Star Wars, and then it switches to Muppets, and then it's with Galaxy's Edge, and it just flows so well. And um, I think a lot of people are just not really paying attention. So
Yeah.
and I'm a purist. Like I think that a peak WDW is like 1994. That is peak Walt Disney World. Like there was not a better time than 93, 94, 95. You cannot top it. But me being and that's just me, like idealistically looking back at the parks, right? But I can tell you that Hollywood Studios is a much better park now than what it
Yeah.
was. So
Yeah.
that's you know we can debate it, right? And I'm sure we could.
Sure.
I'm sure we could have a debate on it, but I will gladly stand my ground. Epcot, on the other hand, is the one that's been a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Um, I think that some of the rides, with the exception of possibly Test Track, I think Test Track is and Nemo. They're much superior to what the previous ride was.
Okay.
Um,
Which test track's gonna get updated soon
so yeah,
again.
yep, right. So, but everything else in the park, I just don't think I don't think it lives up um to what the park was back in the 90s. So, and again, this is just me on the mindset that I always think of Epcot as like a a
A
science
world
center.
showcase.
Yeah, a science center on steroids, right? And that's to me what it was. And they tried to shift that um to mixed results. Again, I think Guardians is a great addition. It doesn't
Hmm.
it clashes with the theming of the park, but as a ride, you cannot deny that thing rocks, dude. That thing's so good. So it's very interesting. Um, Going back to Epic Universe, it's a huge deal, right? And people are paying attention to what Universal's doing, and they've been doing it, and their messaging has been very clear. They haven't gone off track, and then people are listening to what they're doing, and I think that the stakeholder is right by raising a concern that yes was addressed, but not in the magnitude that you guys were expecting us to address it. Um, you just go back to Disney's messaging in the last few years, and I don't necessarily blame Iger for this. You
Right.
know, we've had like 2 years of like the worst messaging that any company could give to anything. So I don't really blame him for that. because the time to answer was back when before the pandemic started, and we all knew we all know who was in charge back then. So, um, yeah, they got to do something. They got to do something. Not just only at this point to rival Epic Universe, but something that could keep or appease the stakeholders, right? Bob just dodged a bullet, a huge bullet, right? Um, I was in favor of him. That politically speaking, I was 100% behind him. If you're gonna if we're gonna go that in that route, um, but yeah, he needs to step up and they need to get better with their messaging, and they are right. I want to say that um the last year their messaging has been consistent and has been fairly solid. There's still some glaring issues, but it seems like they're going in the right direction. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else
I
to
mean,
add.
like, I just think it's like important that like the way he handled it was really well with the question, and the person asking the question is how I think a lot of people feel, but even more so, this is important because it's a shareholder, because clearly this reflects a sentiment of concern.
Right.
This thing's they see the announcements of Epic Universe and they're like, why haven't you guys done something to compete? Because this thing's coming next year and it's gonna be good. Like that makes it sound the way it's worded sounds like there's concern. Um and at the same extent, like Bob took the approach of like educating the shareholders and really did, I think, a great job of quelling the concern, or at least making people evaluate their concern of going like, wait a second, they haven't been sitting on their hands. Like, wait, this is the Epic Universe didn't just pop up in 2024 where they just started working. Like, this has been worked on for a very long time.
Yeah.
Um, Probably Universal's biggest project since they've been here in Florida. Just of its magnitude, a park that's as big as Islands and Universal together, and the amount of money they put behind this thing is just enormous. So yeah, like he took the approach of just educating people, and I something we've been trying to communicate on this show, not because of trying to defend Disney, but just saying like this is literally the actions they took. I think though the fact that he left that last line of "Hey, we're good,
We
have
got
60
stuff.
million here,
Yeah.
like we've got plans." That's the best way to do it because then people can speculate. There's clearly like, Universal has brought out a canon and Disney's about to bring out their own. And it's not Pirates of the Caribbean 7 or whatever they're making. It's much bigger than that. And they made it clear it's worldwide, but that includes Florida. So
Right.
that's the other part. I heard another influencer say too. They're like, guys, Disney doesn't have to just worry about Orlando. Like they've got parks all over.
Right.
I'm sure you saw also Obed the Disneyland concept art for Pandora, what they're doing over there.
Yep.
I love that it looks different. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's clearly some kind of boat ride too that might be different out there too.
And they I don't think we talked about it, but they purchased more land across from Disneyland, like on the other side of the highway.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I didn't hear
there's
that.
talks that and it's as big as the
Wow.
park. So there's talks that there could be a third park over there.
Wow. Okay. So see, yeah. So this,
Yeah.
this is gonna be years in the making.
Right. It's gonna be a long time. Yeah. But going back to the parks and themings and IP, I think it's time for Disney to start. I want to say extending an olive branch, or not necessarily an olive branch, but start working with partners outside of their IPs, because there's IPs out there that are not part of theme parks here in the US. More specifically, I think you know where I'm coming from because you probably saw
Yes.
the announcement.
Yeah.
everyone's freaking flipping out about that Dragon Ball park in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Why not partner with, you know, I guess Crunchyroll at this point, or whoever owns the rights here, Bird Studio Shueisha. And why not bring something like that here? Why not
Yeah.
partner with them? It's like, hey, we can do this thing. We can do it better. And I mean, it doesn't have to be a full park. It could be a land within the park, like Super Nintendo World, right?
Right.
And that will bring people in. That's an IP. It's a valuable IP.
Absolutely.
Um, why not reach out to again? Why not get Sonic? Sonic's pretty big. Kids like Sonic.
And they don't have to own Sega. They don't have to own
They
like to
partner.
do this.
Yeah, they
Just
can they
partner.
can
Yeah.
partner, right? And I know that these guys are making a ton of money. Like I know Sega's making again, like Sega right now is making more money than he did in the 90s back when they partnered with Disney and they had a full freaking pavilion dedicated
Right.
to their games. So,
That was the Eisner days, right?
yes, yeah. So it was like 94 until was it 92 or 94? It was probably like 90 sorry, it was like 93. It was like I think 93 to 2002. Yeah, it ended when the Dreamcast ended and then they I remember when that happened, they started putting PS2s with Kingdom Hearts instead, and the Cars game, and all the like the Disney IP games that were coming out for PS2 and GameCube. That's what they had
Yeah.
after Sega left. But it didn't compare when it came to like theming, like the theme, the it was incredible, right?
Right.
So there's people out there with valuable IPs that could attract a lot of people to your park. And why not start looking outside your IPs? I don't think so. I do, I want to get in trouble. You know what? I'm gonna get in trouble because of my experience. My daughter has never been attracted to Disney princess stuff. Like you'll get a Frozen thing here and there, but it's been just a passing interest. But not they're too late to get Pokemon. I think that's gonna end up at either Islands of or Studios. So I don't know if you saw that. There's rumors that the Fast and Furious ride is closing. So
Yes. Yeah.
there's probably something coming
Yeah.
out, new coming out there. They're Disney's too late to do anything with Nintendo. But you can get the second best, right? You can get you can do Sega. You can do so many other properties like outside of just you know their stuff. Like I don't think girls really care about princesses that much anymore. It's just I think that their interests have changed, and that's something that I've observed with my kid, and I can see it when I go to her school, right?
Yeah.
And and you can see it on like content, like YouTube content.
Oh, for sure.
Especially YouTube. Like if you're a good parent and you're paying attention to what your kids are watching, you would see that a lot of kids content in YouTube has nothing to do with magic and princesses and unicorns and fairies. It's you know it's different now. Um, and I know that's the reason why they shifted a lot of the Marvel and Star Wars stuff to appeal to girls because they don't really care about princesses anymore.
There's a demand. There's a
Yeah,
demand.
which is crazy because the whole purpose of them buying Marvel to begin with was we need something for boys, right?
Literally said like at the table.
Yeah, and now it's flipping because like now they have to expand it because just princesses don't do it anymore. They just don't cut anymore. That's why you need to have properties outside of your own.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for them to go listen. They do have strong brand value and probably top three brand value when it comes to IPs for sure, right? But there are other brands out there right now that are hot that are being overlooked just because they don't want to reach out and they just want to stay in their own IP bubble. It's time to burst the bubble, go out, grab some of these like high value IPs, start making stuff. You know what? I don't know, man. It's just me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good thought. Definitely. I'm sure that all the stuff we're talking about here, like I said, years in the making. To even get a partnership with any of those people you're talking about, I'm sure some calls have been made, whether that's by Universal or Disney, maybe both. Maybe there's gonna be some bidding wars that we don't know about behind the
Right?
scenes.
Right?
But just on a conversational level on our podcast, it makes sense.
Right? Right? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of Marvel and its turn, we got the news today, Joe, that the what I predicted came true. Again, it's like we kind of know what we're talking about. It was announced that Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movie will be a female, played by Julia Gardner. This would be the Shalaval version of Silver Surfer. Sir, what do you got to say about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time in the comics. Like I said, we've seen this iteration of a female Silver Surfer, female Herald, really. I think a lot of people get up in arms about changes like this. On a personal level, the Silver Surfer is actually one of my more like wild card favorite characters. Like he's one of those characters that a lot of people don't know. I actually do have a really good soft spot for from the comics and from that side of things. And so I'd rather them, make sure they get a good actor or actress in this situation and make sure it works well into the story than us just having a bro to have a bro and then it stinks. So doesn't mean that it's bad or good because it's a male or a female. That's my argument. The
You
thing
didn't
is
want
here,
Shannon Tatum to be.
right? Oh no, Channing nice. No. Um, he'd be dancing on the on the surfboard, doing handstands and stuff. No, I mean, like, look, it's gonna be mostly CGI anyways. They'll find a way to randomly, make her transform to look like a regular human
Right.
because that's just what they do in these things.
Hmm.
But yeah, like hopefully this is still good. Hopefully it's also more than just one appearance. Like this is basically not just the fact that they have this person being casted as a Silver Surfer, but the fact that it's a confirmation basically Galactus and the Silver Surfer are going to be in this movie, which is what we had heard for a while. I think Javier Bardem was one of the people that was rumored to be Galactus, if I remember right.
Galactus, yeah, yeah.
Maybe that is true, maybe it isn't. Clearly, these casting is also getting underway, Obed, because they're gearing up some for big announcements. CinemaCon is coming up this coming week. You also have obviously San Diego and D23 this year. Do they go to all of these things, one of these things, whatever? Most articles I was reading recently, people were saying CinemaCon might be a little light on the Marvel side because of them waiting for Comic Con, knowing that DC's not going to be there.
Right.
DC, what are you doing? Like
Did
you're
you
literally.
see? Do you see all the DC April's Fool stuff that was coming out there?
Oh, there were
The
so many.
James Gunn, there's like James Gunn's brother is gonna be like a main character on our movie, and
Yes,
he was gonna play every character in the movie or something like
yes, silly ones that people were like, "Oh no
yeah,
way!"
the Deadpool one. I don't think. Oh, I mentioned it in passing when I saw you earlier this
Yeah,
week. But the Deadpool one, uh, that I saw that was really good was
yeah.
that um, Deadpool 3 got delayed until November because parents were complaining during the screening that it was too offensive and violent for the kids. So,
So they- Okay. I mean, that actually is a headline that I would believe. So that's a good April Fool's
That was
one.
a good one. Yeah, I saw a lot of people. It's like, oh, this is not for kids. But our parents taking the kids to see
Sure.
Deadpool. I was like, chill out, guys. It's like, look at the
It was
thing.
never marketed to them.
Right.
That. No offense, that just makes you look like a bad parent. You don't look at ratings and stuff.
Yeah.
No offense.
They were.
I'm
I
sorry.
remember when Deadpool 2 came out, parents were saying, "It's like, what the heck is this thing?" And I'm bringing my kid to bring it.
Like
Like,
it's
bro, you
called
should
Marvel
know better,
Studios,
bro.
not the kids network. Like,
Oh
do your
no.
research,
You
guys.
should
Come
look
on.
at the ratings, dude. It's like
What a concept.
it's like video games ratings. It just it drives me crazy, right? That the people complain about video games and kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then I remember no, I don't want I don't want to go too off the rails. We'll go back here in a second.
Yeah.
I just got an experience to share, right? Back in the PS3 days, there was this little kid. He was probably like maybe like my daughter. She was like 8 and 9.
Hmm.
Not even. He wasn't like he was like a smaller kid, dude. And he was picking out a game, and and his mom is like, oh, so which game do you wanna
Grand
pick?
Theft Auto
You
or something.
know, dude, it was the Saboteur by Pandemic. Dude, the Saboteur, the opening sequence is in a topless bar. This like parents, there's ratings for a reason.
It's literally on the case.
It's on the case.
They have to
Read.
disclose it.
Like honestly, don't blame the video game companies. Blame yourself. It's like
100%.
honestly, man. And it's the same thing with like GTA. It's like, oh, the little kid, like, oh yeah,
You can't buy.
I want Mafia 2 for my birthday. It's like, bro, no,
You
no.
can't. And here's the thing about those games too. You can't just walk into a store. Little Billy can't save up his lawn mowing money that he did for Aunt Julie. Like he can't go in there. Hey, I saved up, $80 from mowing the lawn the last 3 months. Like he can't do that and go buy it because they're gonna say, "Where's your ID? You're not
Right.
old enough." So you taking the parent to go buy this stuff, that like that's on you. There is a soul of responsibility you have. Same thing with the movie tickets. Like they ask you, are you 17 or older to buy this
Right.
ticket?
Yeah.
It's on there. Come on, guys. Come on. Do
Right.
better. Do
Do
better.
better. Anyhow.
Sorry.
No, yeah, no, just the experience that it just crossed my mind, and it was like because of Deadpool and ratings. But yeah, no, I'm not familiar with Julie Garner's work, but I haven't really seen anything negative out there, so I'm assuming that a lot of people are not reacting negatively to this news. I don't know.
Yeah.
You probably have your ear more to the ground on this one than I do, but I mean, I'm indifferent towards it. I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I was expecting it, and because I
Yes.
predicted
Yes.
it
Right.
a few weeks ago when the full cast was revealed. So um yeah, I don't know. Have you seen anything out there or
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've seen the it's dead on arrival. Like it's this movie bombs at opening. Like just all those kinds of discussion. But like my argument to these people are like you didn't care about the Silver Surfer, most of them, for most of your life. You're just probably just have your own personal opinions and feelings about Disney Marvel right now. And so you're just picking up a pitchfork for any headline that you see that sounds like it. This may not be it. It might be it, but let's just watch the movie and find out. It's that's just to see.
yeah, we'll wait and see. I think I have a good thumbnail in mind
Yeah.
for when I post this clip.
Okay, okay.
So
I like it. I like it.
be bolo on that one. All right. Um, we also have some more Marvel news that uh, Jessica Jones and the Punisher are basically confirmed to be showing up on the Daredevil Born Again, and that there will be 2 seasons of the show. I'm good with that. It's basically a continuation of the Netflix show. Hopefully bringing the show to its proper conclusion. I think. Will Rosario Dawson return, Joe? That's a good question, right?
Disney, same
Big
circle.
Disney sweetheart right now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Disney's like really banking on her, lately. So yeah, I think this is good news. I did see from the pictures that got out there recently, it looks like Kingpin lost some weight. So I don't know if they're going back fully to the concept from the Netflix show, or if they're going to continue using the concept from Echo. I guess we'll wait and see. But what do you think of this one, man?
Yeah, this is big. We had heard the rumors, but seeing, Bernthal in the full suit, and then also seeing, Jessica Jones right back. Well, the thing with Jessica Jones is the pictures were April Fool's ones that I saw going around.
Right.
So I don't know for sure that she's actually is back, to be honest with you. But Bernthal for sure, we're back. And like the storyline around him that's been leaked that I believe to be true based on, again, more set pictures is um, some of the police have been wearing the Punisher logo on their outfits as they are going around, and the Punisher is not too happy about it. So
Oh,
it's
that's
interesting. It's
great.
interesting.
That's
Supposedly it's a thing.
great. I
Yes.
love it.
So
I love
not
it.
not like
Yeah.
not like a regular like gang or something, the actual police themselves.
Right.
So it's an interesting term. We'll see how that
Yeah.
goes.
Oh,
It's an
it's
interesting
gonna
one.
ruffle some feathers out there.
Potentially,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think like sometimes it's the art reflecting reality in a tasteful
Yeah.
way. Like it could be very interesting.
Because I
But
know that I saw that they redesigned his logo in the comics, and a
yes.
lot of people was like, "Why were you redesigning it?" It's like, "Cause you people,
Well, not
ba-
everybody. The
because
fans,
well, yeah,
just
because
a group of
certain a
people.
group of people,
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
a group of people
Yeah.
are misinterpreting what the original
Correct.
logo stood for." So
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
No, for sure. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So that was like a cool little thing that, is believed to be true from there. Sorry if I spoiled something for people who are looking for John. Could be. I don't
Joe,
know.
spoiler alert!
Sorry,
Dang
I don't
it!
have sources. It's just me,
It's just rumors.
analysis.
Yep.
Um, but then the other thing that was interesting, and you shared this with me as well, was, Finn Jones, who played Iron Fist, one of the least loved shows out of all the ones out there, put out a cryptic post on social media. He had a specific comic book in a bag in a collector's case of Power Man and Iron Fist, obviously knowing Luke Cage and Iron Fist on there. And many people believe it to be, oh, look, he's actually going to be back. Potentially, people are saying for this. That's a huge stretch based on just one post, but the timing is not, is quite interesting.
And I don't
Um,
mind it. I have nothing against him as the actor. It's just that I
yeah,
think the writing on his show was not good.
correct.
You know, and
Correct.
we're hey, you know what? We criticize She-Hulk, but we also like we it's we're equal opportunity uh critiquing over
Oh,
here
for sure.
because they
The actress they had there, I thought was a good actress
right
choice.
exactly.
I'm
So
not attacking her as a person.
no, totally. It's just bad writing, right?
Yeah, just the show wasn't good.
just bad writing and bad budget management, I guess. So
Just wasn't good. Yeah.
it just wasn't good. And the same thing could be said for Iron Fist. Iron Fist, man, I was like I watched the first episode of season 2 and I was like, oh, this is real bad. I'm not. I
Yeah.
dropped out. Um, so yeah, there could be a possibility, yeah, and he probably won't be very prominent. You know,
No.
he may just show up here and there. It's like, hey, I still exist, and I may show up at a later time. So, you know,
Right. Right.
it could just be like that. So,
Right. There's a lot of episodes too that they made clear for this season. If it's still what it was originally, I want to say it was somewhere in the range of like 16 episodes or something like that that they said that this Born Again was going to be. So, let's not get too filler with it and expand and build a new MCU universe on the foundation of what we saw from Netflix, and that seems to be the case.
right.
Now, the speculation people have taken it a step further is saying like well, does this mean that we're gonna get Heroes for Hire as a spin-off show from this rather than because I think the Defenders was another whole thing that was tried. So instead of doing the Defenders, you just do Heroes for Hire and try and make that a little unique. And then the Heroes for Hire show up with the Avengers at some point. Like, I think that's probably is a part of the plan long term, but I think they're probably just waiting for this show itself to come out, see how well received it is before we get there. But they're making it clear based on just the rumors that we're seeing of, hey, this person's back, like having Bernthal back, potentially
Yeah.
Jessica Jones back, that everything we saw before is completely canon. Like this is not it is a soft reboot, but it isn't. Like, we'll see
Yeah.
what is actually picked up and what is discarded from before.
And there were clear signs that the Avengers happened in Daredevil.
Oh,
Like
for
in
sure.
Daredevil, like
Yeah.
there's allusions to the incident,
Battle of
right?
New
And
York.
yeah, exactly. So, you know, they were just not involved with any of that. They were just low key, kind of like more
Yeah.
local, right? Kind of like in the same way that Spider Man was still being Spider Man, but not having his suit back before Stark went to see him. So,
Right, right.
yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Last bit of news, Joe. The long, I guess, delayed slash rumored to be canceled Knights of the Old Republic remake for PS5 allegedly is alive and well. I I've already lost hope for this thing to come out. In my mind, this thing was already canceled. So I just realized it's only been since they announced it in 2021. I mean,
Hmm.
it should have been out already,
Yeah.
in my opinion, right? Because
Yeah.
when you already have your you already have your scenarios made and script and level design and all that made. If dude, if Square Enix can give you Final Fantasy Rebirth in 3.5 years, this thing should have been out already.
Right.
So I don't know. Basically the only thing that we have is that the studio or Saber Interactive is saying that it still exists, it's still on track, it's still gonna come out. I'll believe it when I see it. Call me a skeptic on this
Right.
one, but do you think this thing's gonna come out, dude?
Yeah, I think it will. But there's just something going on, like you said, that it just doesn't add up. Why it's been this long? Like the statement that he makes in it, like in the pay it's alive and well, was very much like business politics. We're trying to make the best product we can and exceed expectations. Like that's the reason why we delayed. Every delay, every reshoot of a film, anything what that's always what these people say. I'm
Right.
not calling them a liar. I'm just saying there's definitely more to it than what's being said at the surface.
Right.
So, like you don't just say like we're trying to make the best game ever and then like three after a teaser and 3 years later, like there's been no signs of life since. So there's something else going on there. I hope it does come out. I think it will. There's this game, Knights of the Old Republic, is an extremely beloved game. It just makes sense on a consumer level to release it because you're gonna automatically retain a large portion of people just buying this remake just purely on nostalgia and interest alone.
Right.
If it's good at the minimum, you're gonna get even more people buying it. If it's great, well, then we know where that goes. So like it just on a business side, it makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is the statements that are being said because there's clearly more large there. But Obed, there has been talk. This is not to change subject from here, but like there has talk. I believe they're saying next month already will be the next PlayStation showcase. So I don't know, man. Maybe that's something where they show signs of life. Maybe not.
Yeah. Um. Man, this year's been so stacked already that
Yeah, it is.
that I mean, I'm guessing that PlayStation is getting ready to announce that Pro that's been
Right.
like there's this past week there's been a lot more rumors about it, right? So uh, that could potentially be something that they show. I don't think they're ready to show any Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC yet. I know that the final piece of DLC for 16 is coming out soon,
Right.
and based on information that's been out there, they don't have end plans for any major or first party franchise games to come out. There may be an announcement for Silent Hill
Mm,
2 remake because there's an ESRB rating for it already. So
right.
that could be on uh, uh, something that could be announced there. Metal Gear could be announced. The Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that could be announced. But I don't know. It seems to me like they may announce that handheld at some point this year too. I man, because we talked about it last week, and I started doing a little bit more research, and I was like, oh, I think this is gonna happen.
Would that be like a first mover advantage too? Like, let's make our announcement before Microsoft does, or does it not matter?
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
There's no competition,
Yeah,
but at the
they
same
don't care.
extent, like, you know.
Yeah, the ones that man is like, Nintendo's are the ones that really need it. But
Well, you need it for the shrimp.
I did that.
You need
I
it.
need Nintendo to announce it because I don't want to eat shrimp. Right. So get on it. I don't know how much time do I have left, sir.
We're definitely got you on at least one pineapple on
Oh,
pizza
pineapple on pizza. I'm
for the
good.
Disney one. The
Yeah,
Disney
yeah,
one's gonna happen
yeah.
because there's not been a sale.
There or there hasn't been an acquisition from Sony in the next 6 months, like I predicted back in
There's
November.
also that too.
Yeah.
So
So
there's definitely some pineapple in your future.
yeah, no, I got you. I got you. We should be fine.
We'll have lunch real soon.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I mean we know
We do it for the people.
but we do it for the people. We do know a good pizza spot, so I'm willing
We
to run the
do.
risk. Not Shreddy's pizza.
Oh no, not that pizza. I refuse.
Hey, it's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that.
it's a little extra salty,
It's
but
like
not
street. It's like street food.
not
Street foods. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm used to it.
Oh no, don't do that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, street
Oh
foods.
no.
Oh man, good stuff,
Uh,
sir. That's what I got. Let's go
yeah.
ahead and take us home.
Thank you all so much for sticking with us here on the show. We want to make sure you stay subscribed to No Load Time. We're on podcast platforms of your choice. Think of SoundCloud, Amazon Music, Spotify. We're out there. Follow us, subscribe to us. You can also subscribe to No Load Time on YouTube. Like the videos, drop us a comment. We'd really appreciate it. You can watch our live streams there, reviews, and more. Also, make sure you're following us on social media at No Load Time, Facebook Threads, X, TikTok, Instagram. We're out there. Follow us. You also can follow us. No Load Time is No Load Time all together on Twitch. We'll probably this summer broadcasting some games here real soon. I don't know, but maybe when in a couple years when that other Marvel game comes out, we're gonna have to do that one for sure.
Yeah.
Um, if you're watching though, you'll see all those handles in the video down below here. And then also you can send us an email, noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Question, comments, and maybe we will talk about it on a future show, what you send in. But thank you all so much for sticking with us. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.